Good afternoon, everyone. I know many of you are back after giving your A-Lit exam and you are excited to know what lies ahead of you as far as the A-Lit exam is concerned. So with a thorough research of talking to more than 100 students and getting proper feedback from all of them, genuine feedback with genuine questions, question types, we bring to you this A-Lit analysis, the cutoffs, and also a little bit on what you can expect in the paper on the 28th, which is CLAT. So without further ado, let us move on. And I hope this analysis is able to give you a clear picture of what the A-Lit paper entailed and what was there as far as the paper difficulty level was concerned. So the first thing that we got to know, the first initial feedback, which actually gives you the fabric of the paper, which actually gives you the character of the paper, the flavor of the paper. So, which is what we have decided to include here. So the first things that came forward was that A-Lit did not disappoint. The paper was like A-Lit, you know. So we have been using this phrase like A-Lit like in our day-to-day pedagogy at CLAT Possible as well. Because A-Lit for us is somewhere where the bar is kept in terms of a paper which is genuinely testing and which continues to be consistent in terms of its difficulty level. So while we hope that this paper, which initially came out like A-Lit, that means it was a moderate to difficult paper, it had good questions, it was a paper which was made for students who were prepared. It was a paper made for students who did their classes regularly with us. It was a paper that was made for students that went into the paper giving it respect by preparing for it. We also hope at the same time that unlike previous years, this year with this good paper, this exam does not give us incorrect answers because our entire analysis and our cutoffs is based on correct answers for the A-Lit exam. So these are initial cues and responses that we got. GK was easy, general, so this was the initial thing. But we bring in the analysis 2 hours late because we always cut through the initial eyes, cut through the initial feedback, and actually compel students to think how many questions did they attempt, because a student's response mostly involves, you know, getting extremely excited if 5 questions in a row are getting answered. But what about the remainder of the 30 questions? So we always give you initial responses, the initial euphoria that you have after giving the paper, and that euphoria is not long-lived. Why is that not long-lived? Because if you answer 5 questions in a row and you get very, very excited about it, but then when dust settles, that's where the rubber hits the road. And that's where you start thinking, okay, I did not answer these 10 questions, right? So the initial responses for GK is very easy, general, but mind you, these responses are not to be considered the final responses. We will come to individual sections very shortly. And of course, if we are able to see and read every question that we studied, so initially all the kids come out saying, yes, everything from perfect was covered, which is true. But how many questions did the student leave eventually? And how many students actually read GK perfect? Because this exam response does not involve only a few students. Legal was more than 50% based on principal questions, right? This is again our initial response. We will get to the section details shortly. English and CR was of moderate level, but mind you, this is only initial response. We will again get to the nitty-gritty of each section. Maths was tough. This response remained the same even when the dust settled. So let's get into that as well. no surprise elements. Now, depends on what students or what you all consider as surprise, right? Because when you start getting into details, then you discover, yes, there were some questions that came out like this. Yes, there were some questions that came out like that. So again, let's, and maybe because AILET has always been surprising us, now it is following a set pattern. So some students felt that was not a surprise element. But all these responses have to be taken with a pinch of salt. And our next hour of hard work will be shown in the next few PPTs. All right, so we all know. Right, so first let's come to the basic exam atmosphere, the ambience, the interface. As we all know, this exam was conducted by the NTA. And initially when the NTA released mock test papers for the interface, there were lots and lots of apprehensions because students were not able to go back and forth, or in the mock exam, the passage did not come up with the questions. But finally, when queries were raised to NLU Delhi, we got the answers as yes, all that would be possible, which was then made good, right? And the students could see the passages with all the questions, whether it was reading comprehension or legal, right? We've got mixed views here, but mostly why we write interface was good because the basics were followed. The basics meaning you could go back and forth, your passages were visible with allied questions, you know, whatever minimum was promised was followed. However, some students are used to better interface, and naturally that comfort was not sort of visible there, right? So one could say it was giving you everything, but yes, the touch, look, feel, you know, it was not, it didn't drive like a Jaguar, right? So if I may use that analogy. Again, we got mixed reviews depending on how demanding the student was. Is a student, should a student get a great interface? Yes, I feel they should get a great interface. We invest lots and lots in technology to give you great interface. And this is what we would expect the national agencies to do as well. So let's hope that they get that feedback. So yes, so these were basics that were not seen. Many students, when they found that they could switch sections, they could go anywhere, they sort of felt happy. So it's like that earlier nothing was promised and suddenly you were given basics. So many students gave a feedback, yeah, it was good, because they went in with the apprehension that they won't be able to do any of that. Yes, so passages were visible for all the questions. That was the first question I asked the student when they came out of the exam. Could you see the passage with all the questions? Because that would have made a difference of at least 10 marks to the cutoff. At least 10 marks, mind you, children. Because if you have to keep going back to the passage, you would not have been able to do more than 90 questions in this exam. All right. Yet, there were lots and lots of reviews of technical glitches at the exam centers. The most common feedback was the mouse did not work. Some students even went ahead and reported that they were given the wrong exam. Because the NTA is conducting exams for various colleges, they were not given the proper exam. Many students reported that it seemed that the staff present at these locations was not counseled and guided properly as to what to tell the students. Lots and lots of students from NCR complained that in between the exam, all the invigilators came in, kept getting pictures stuck, kept getting their signatures, whereas it is a well-known exam protocol that all this has to be done right in the beginning before giving the question paper. You cannot come in between and ask students to stop the exam and do all of that. As a result, students complained of losing out on time. So these are not very healthy to listen to. So if this live video is made available to the CLAT authorities, I hope they will not repeat all of this on 28. And they will ensure that test centers have correct protocols, have the correct due diligence done. so that students do not end up getting harassed. Again, if you put an Indian student writing entrance test exam on a scale of harassment from 1 to 5, many of them have already been harassed to the point of level 5 in the recently annulled exam called the NLAT. So now there are very few complaints because they have seen the worst. So if they see anything less, they do not even bother to complain because they just feel lucky that they were able to give the exam, which is not a good state of affairs, right? So yes, so some of the students who did share their feedback because they were sort of prodded and they were told to share their feedback came up with this. So guys, let's move ahead. We all know the instructions, so we can skip this 19 minutes to write the exam of 150 questions. Incorrect answer will have negative marking. So we come straight to the GK section. And today, hopefully, my team are here with me. So, Clap Possible, we have all our mentors on screen, and maybe they could pitch in. So, GK remained easy, but as I said, could be due to the euphoria of getting a majority of answers that were known. So the questions that get left out get ignored. These were the basic questions that came in the movie. And again, since this is based on memory, usually the report is of questions that you were able to answer. The pandemic ad, anti-defection law, and of course, a couple of science questions were also part of ALIT, which again is typically ALIT. They always give you a couple of science questions. Many a time students ask, why is that so necessary? We are going to law school. However, GK is GK, right? So if there's anything that any of our mentors would like to add here, I invite them. If they have logged in anything else that they remember or recall, please unmute yourself and maybe add to it. Is there anyone who would like to add anything to this? Feedback on general knowledge? Doable questions? Mentors?
Abhishek is here.
नहीं वो लोग है ना?
Yeah. Saral is here.
Please unmute yourself and maybe add to it. Is there anyone who would like to add anything to this?
Yeah.
Feedback on general knowledge?
Right. I think there were some questions on
questions.
Yeah, I've heard the feedback that I received is GK was pretty easy. And
नहीं वो लोग है ना?
and GK was pretty easy. A couple of more science questions.
Unmute yourself and maybe add to it. Is there anyone who would like to add anything to this?
Yeah.
Feedback on general knowledge?
Right. I think there were some questions on
questions.
Yeah, I've heard that I received is GK was pretty easy.
नहीं वो लोग है ना?
And GK was pretty easy. A couple of more science questions.
Unmute yourself and maybe add to it. Is there anyone who would like to add anything to this?
Yeah.
Feedback on general knowledge?
Right.
Hello?
Yes, Akash.
Hi, sorry. Apart from the topics that you've mentioned on the board, I think GK, the feedback that I've gotten so far is that it's been easy. And apart from these questions, I think there was a question on which country is the latest to join the ICC. A lot of news from 2019, and also which High Court declared the right to access internet as a fundamental right. Those 2-3 questions I recall more from students who have spoken to. So I have that to add in the topics that you've already mentioned.
Would you hazard a guess on how many questions were doable? Any of you? Yeah.
Does anyone want to take that call? I would say
the impression that I've received from a couple of students is that around 20 to 20 questions were easy, and they were able to, they knew the answer to those questions. Another 7 to 8, they had a good guesswork going on. But yeah, on five, 7 questions were a little difficult, is the impression that I'm receiving. So I think a good score would be somewhere around 27 to 30ish. Should be a good score. I don't know. Do you all agree?
Yeah, I mean, same for me. I think the number of students who've gotten back have said at least 18 questions were very doable for them. Like they sailed through at least 18 questions. The remaining were maybe a bit tricky, but at least 18 were very doable.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. We'll again get you back in for legal and final cutoffs. Maybe we can have a discussion on that. So that was GK for you. And so we are getting an impression that about 18 to 22 is the range of doable questions. Mind you, wherever we have 18 to 22, a range as wide as this is indicative of a fact that maybe there are toppers who come out with maybe around 7 to 8 marks more than general cutoff. This was the trend we saw last year and last to last year as far as AILET was concerned. So I see the same trend happening this year, that initial topper scores could be significantly higher and the overall cutoff to fill in the other general seats could probably go low down, right? So our cutoffs that we will be declaring will actually not be the topper scores, because everywhere this wide range is visible in terms of attempts and in terms of comfort level. This big gap, which involves around 10 question plus minus from different students who have been able to share with us a doable question scenario. So GK, again, we see that big chasm, somewhere someone says 22, the other says 80. And we all know how 1 mark matters as far as cutoffs are concerned.
And just to add to that, Surbhi, even historically, NLU Delhi's entrance exam has had a large gap between the topper and the cutoff, to the tune of easily 15 to 20 marks. So that is something that you need to keep in mind when you're going through, chat forums or other sources with respect to cutoff. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm sure students must be exposed to a lot of discussion, but this is what I wanted to bring in. I did follow a couple of discussions that were taken, and they just declared cutoffs based on initial impressions of probably a very small group of students. And here, all of us, all our faculty that you see today, and the others who are not probably a part of this discussion, but every person individually has reached out to their group of students in different cities, and we bring to you more than 100 student discussion analysis here. And another thing that I must warn all the AILET students and the CLAT students is that we do not make this analysis based on how our faculty does the paper. Because a person who is aged, somewhere above 30, and some teachers probably cross 40 and 50 and keep writing these tests, which is pretty much a joke, their attempt will not be the same as your actual peers who are going to sit in the exam. Those people probably have been writing exams all their bloody life. But we have to come out with an analysis of actual students who are looking at getting selected, those who have prepared for a year or two, and the average age that they operate out of is definitely not on the other side of 22, right? So your complete perspective is what matters in this analysis. And as Saral said, this is the trend we saw last year and last to last year, as much as a 20-mark difference in the actual cutoff and the topper score. Though we may not see such a huge bridge this time, a gap this time, but there might just be that gap because of the various attempts that you may have done in different sections and the proficiency and your level of preparedness for the paper. So we will talk more about it when we move to the other sections. This is logical reasoning. So the logical reasoning, again, traditionally in the ALET exam has been, the slope, it slopes more towards AR questions, which was visible this time as well. So compared with just 15 questions here, this could be 12 to 15 questions. We had around 20, and this again could go to 22 questions in AR. Now, AR had the usual mix, but as the mentors of maths and AR here, Abhishek tells me that he has been telling students to not attempt questions like coding and decoding that are time taking. So there were at least arrangement questions, as many as 2 sets of arrangement questions that were time taken, and we might have to exclude them from our overall cutoff discussion, because if you got here, you probably missed some other section. So either way, you lost out on some questions, and those who avoided these then simply avoided these. Many students preferred to do critical reasoning, as it was, unlike ALET, pretty doable in the face of AR. And clocks, blood relation, there was blood relation questions also were the ones that you could have picked up, right? But it is not possible that someone did both the sets of these arrangements and was able to do the paper in completion. That was not possible, right? So naturally we have to remove this. So overall impression that you get is that it is a lengthy paper, even though later on, if you try to crack these arrangement questions, they were doable. Again, I make stress on the point that we have been able to get feedback only from students and not maths pros who have been writing this paper. You want to add something, Abhishek? Okay. Great. So CR had a few passage-based questions, and that could be around 5 to 6. Typical critical reasoning, and of course questions on statement assumptions, premise conclusion. There was a set where there were bold-faced questions that were, I think, 4 in number, where you had to give the relationship between the statements. So we have done this in our basic classes. If you remember, children, all the CLAT possible children, and we have done this, identification of premise and conclusion questions were presented in a pattern where they were mimicked as bold-faced questions. So you had to give the relationship between the bold-face as to whether it was premise conclusion or, if it was a statement reason. So that's the thing. So it was basic identification of conclusion type questions that were asked in this manner. They were mimicked as bold-faced questions. So that again came up in critical reasoning. So if you used your brains on the spot, if you use your common sense, you could have easily taken up these 15 questions with a negative of about a couple of marks here and there. And of course, your blood relation clock kind of questions here, right? Let's move on. Now, while we have said English is of good level, 1 minute, let me go back to English, please. So this level, by this I mean the world of students taking exam in English is divided into, these categories. So I teach some of the brightest brains. Trust me, I teach some of the brightest students, and I learn from them a lot all the time, right? I definitely say this to you all. So still I find there is great aversion to grammar of a large group of students. You can do anything with them. They refuse to study the Black Grammar book we give at CLAT Possible. There are some who will mug up vocabulary, probably do some grammar, but they will refuse to read. Again, do anything that you threaten them, cajole them, coax them. You can just do about anything. That reminds me, there was a word which was asked, blandishment. So I just ended up using its synonyms for you just now. So there you go. And as I said, there is a world of pure readers, and they will again refuse to cram up vocabulary and grammar and play by their seat, right? They are good, they are readers, But sometimes in aptitude testing, playing by your seat does not help if the competition is stiff. Very rarely do you find a true blood person who takes up languages well and is a combination of all this. I mean, trust me, that percentage is just not even the tip of the iceberg. So if there is a topper, that topper will be all of these combined. This is where that huge chasm between the reader, the topper and the overall cutoff will be seen. So if there is a person who has been able to do all these words, abnegation, French leave, quiescent, irascible, please, these are actually very competition-friendly words. If you're doing any competition, if you have just read the black book once, you would know all these words. All these words are there in our sheets, and we have done thousands of words with you all, right? The only difference is how much you have paid attention. So if there is a person who has cracked this, who has cracked about 80% of sentence correction, because we don't know the actual question, and traditionally AILET gives you sometimes statements that have 2 errors. So if I remove the wrong questions and the wrong answers, then about 80% of grammar questions. Then there was that traditional question on parts of speech, right? We've done it all through in our mocks. Need is used as an adjective, pronoun, and adverb. So match need as an adjective with the sentence which uses need as an adjective. Match need as an adverb with a sentence that gives uses need as an adverb, right? So a student probably mixed up need with another word. So there were a couple of questions like these as well, right? So different ways that a word can be used, different parts of speech. So pretty much what AILET always does, right? And if you have written even the previous year papers, some of our mocks, all this is not news to any of you. So therein lies the difference. So there will be a cutoff score in English and there will be a topper score in English for a student who fits into all these 3, the grammar, vocab, reader category. So this will be your topper, and any of these probably could comprise the cutoff categories based on the way, based on other section scores as well. All right, so I'll allow the legal team to take this up.
Yeah, hi everyone. Saril, please feel free to pitch in whenever you want to. I think, so in the legal section, the large concern of many of the students was that the options that we provided in all the principal factual-based questions were a bit confusing. So the principle might be pretty straightforward. The factual situation was a bit lengthy and longly worded. And the options were confusing in the sense that sometimes the questions were, which of the options is not the correct answer. So that required you to have a bit of an in-depth understanding of what is being talked about. So the kind of topics that were tested as stated on in the slide were negligence, and very specifically medical negligence, I'm told, was tested, strict and absolute liability, time-based contracts, private nuisance, misrepresentation, and deceit. Interestingly enough, there was no question in the principal factual-based scenario from constitutional law. They were mostly from torts, contracts, and maybe criminal law. Nothing on consti law in the principle-based questions. Legal GK, interestingly, and also there were none of those assertion reasoning questions that sometimes come in the AILET papers and which have also been included in the mock papers. In legal GK, the topics that were tested were mostly CAA through the JNK issue and NRC issue. And these are some issues that we have repeatedly stressed in our classes as to something that we should keep on brushing yourself about it, because these are legal issues that have been so much in news throughout this past year. So that's it about the legal section. I was told because it was lengthy, even though it was not very tough, people have kind of left out at least 5 questions were something that people could not attempt at all because of the length. If someone else has a different feedback, please feel free to share it. So yeah, that's it from my side. Saril, do you have anything to add?
I think just one thing you've covered basically everything. The one thing that what I've heard is that the options themselves were pretty lengthy. So from what I understand, students took a lot of time in reading first the facts and then the options and then sort of figuring out which answer is correct. So the overall impression is that the legal section was pretty lengthy, and there needs to be, I mean, I'm sure the students did some analysis in terms of which section should I prioritize. Should I prioritize other sections where I'm strong at, or should I prioritize legal? So there was some, this zero sum analysis kind of thing was necessary for the legal section.
So again, the principles were pretty straightforward, right? I don't think like 1 year they invented new principles and that required thorough reading.
Am I audible?
Yeah. So
Yes, continue.
yeah, so that was pretty much out of the way. There was at least, I think, one question which had a common passage and some 3-4 questions alongside. So unlike what students feel, again, the initial euphoria, I see a slight threat of negative marking in legal, because of the tricky options. Because the options were tricky, I think, even if you reach the point where you say not liable or whatever, then choosing between the two options could have been tricky. So again, those who have practiced well enough probably will sail through. But I do see some threat of a lot of negative marking, ensuing in this section. Yes, Abhishek.
Right. So from the reviews that I've gotten about the legal section, I think pretty much Akash and Saril have summed it up. You had questions on tort law and contract law primarily when it came to the reasoning part, and then we had legal GK questions. Now we have yet to find out if you've gotten latest legal GK. For example, CA and everything happened somewhere around January and February. So definitely there were questions on CA, but the absolute current topics, like stuff that happened perhaps a month ago, or the coronavirus issue and all the legal implications with respect to vaccines and everything. So far, we haven't heard that there have been questions from that. Anyway, what I wanted to tell you was that this was a very typical legal section that NLU Delhi asks, okay? There were these one-pager questions. You usually get such questions. In fact, even without the change in pattern for NLU Delhi, you've always been getting kind of those passage-based questions that you will be getting in CLAT now, okay? And obviously a bit surprising was the fact that there was no question on constitutional law, okay? Because if you go through the past year papers, you will see that there are at least two very kind of tricky questions on constitutional law, and some contemporary burning issue of constitutional law is something that NLU Delhi very frequently tests. So that was kind of a shocker. Not exactly shocker is maybe an overstatement, but that was a surprise that they didn't ask you anything on constitutional law. Apart from that, guys, see, the options were lengthy, and these options are very confusing. Like for all these past year paper discussion classes that I've had on ALED, you will find that many a times two very close options, okay? Two very close options, and basically without any solid rationale or logic, one option trumps the other. Like one option is better, than the other. Also, more often than not, the whole point of, some option about which the principal does not talk, but ultimately is the correct standing, also ends up being the right answer when it comes to the ALED paper, okay? So all that I'm trying to say is that prima facie, it might come as an easy section. I'm not saying that people are telling me it's easy, but prima facie, it might come as an easy section, but there are a lot of other things at play, especially in the legal aptitude section of the ALED paper. Once the answer key is out, a lot of you will come and tell me that, sir, this option is right, but the principal did not talk about it. So this is outside knowledge, and that is going to happen, okay? Which is why, here at CLAT Possible, when we sat down and decided that let's just come up with the initial cutoff for all these sections, every year people just come and tell us that, okay, the paper was fantastic and everything. I mean, this year they're telling us it's great. Last year they were pretty terrified. But I would say that don't think that it's going to be, it was a cakewalk, all right? I mean, the cutoffs will definitely be a bit more than what it was perhaps last year or last to last year. But in the legal section as well, with 35 questions, even if you found it easy, I think 22 to 25 would be a good score. If you think that you're going to get 30 plus because the paper seemed easy, that's not going to happen. Okay? Because once you will get the answer key, you will realize a lot of things which I know for a fact. I mean, analyzing the A-Late paper for the past 10 years, I know for a fact that a lot of things are going to bungle up in the paper. Anyway, you've done your best. Okay? If you're scoring somewhere around 22 to 25, I think, in my opinion, that's going to be a good score. And if you score equally well in the other sections, there's a very high chance that you may crack the A-Late exam. That's all from my side. So, ma'am, over to you.
Can I just add one thing?
Yeah.
I think this is good practice for CLAT, because if NLAT is anything to go by, and NLAT has and NLSIU was involved in preparation of CLAT, and if you go by NLAT and think that CLAT will be somewhat similar to NLAT, then having confusing options is something that's good practice for CLAT, because I'm quite sure that that CLAT is going to have confusing options, because NLAT had it, and NLAT was basically NLS's work, and NLS has been influencing CLAT quite heavily. So I think that's something to keep in mind. And when it comes to confusing options, I think ALET would have been a fantastic practice.
Great. So I think
also wait for the answer key. Because once you get the answer key, a lot of these confusing options and the correct answers that the ALET will mark will not make a lot of sense. And I don't want to comment on that part, but let's just wait for the answer key and see how it goes.
Yes, but definitely I think CLAT has made it very clear that it is going to be principle-based answers. So maybe once the answer key comes out, we might have to set the record right and tell them that we still stick with principle-based answers. Would you all agree?
Yes.
Right. So, but anyway, CLAT is just day after tomorrow. So let's see. So in short, we sort of, kind of took away from all that frenzy, and it was like a cold shower, this legal section discussion. But yes, the more cautious of our students did mention the fact that because of the tricky options, things could go south, right? So we have to make way for that 2% also, or 1 or 2% of those options, which eventually might not end up being the answer based on, how you follow principles, etc. So again, we have incorporated that in our cutoffs. So once we come to that, we will have a discussion again. So I would request all our mentors to stay put. Very quickly, we'll go through the math section. And as I've said in the beginning, it was a lengthy section. Plus, some students, if they spend time on legal, etc., were not actually able to reach this section also, right? So, and the topics ranged from probability to profit loss, compound interest, time, speed, distance. We, in fact, had a more bigger choice of topics than probably the questions allotted to maths section, right? So it was lengthy, and I don't think there were people who could have sat down and finished this section. So what I see is, even if there are students who attempted about 3 to 5 questions and did other sections well, they could again be, far above the cutoff. So those would probably be the students who would be topping this, etc. So whether you got these 3 questions here or you got them extra in some other section, again, that remains to be seen. So this is, again, being very, very optimistic, considering some very good students were not even able to reach the math section.
I just want to add something to this, ma'am.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, historically speaking, the math section of the A-Late paper has always been as difficult as almost, they say, the CLAT paper. And at CLAT Possible, I think, ma'am, we've made it a point to tell students not to waste time on the math section. And we've also categorically told them how many attempts have to be made. So if you followed that, then perhaps that's the best thing. If you wasted time on answering all the 10 questions, then that's a big mistake. And I'm sorry, but time and again at CLAT Possible, we've asked you not to do that. So just
I don't think that was even possible, because I'm sure students would have spent time doing legal and GK, etc. So even if they had wanted to sit and solve the paper, I'm sure they'll probably do it once the answer key and question paper are out.
Why do they do that is a surprise. I mean, why do they want CAT standard questions in the math section? Only God knows.
Yeah. So this is what is the summary of all the sections. This is the summary of all the sections. Now, again, this depends on the Venn diagram I drew. So this will probably decide the extra marks that you will get and emerge as a rank holder. Maths, again, those 2-3 questions will decide the extra marks you get and emerge as a rank holder. GK, if you were on par with general students who have written the paper to get selected, then this will not really decide anything, because by and large, I see everyone getting the same marks. Again, 2-3 marks if some student got off the 7-8 questions that were not doable would make a difference. So these are all the places where those differences will emerge. But if you did on par with everyone, with GK, you made your base, then with legal, you made your base. So just to clear the cutoff and probably excel in 1 or 2 sections that you are good at. So all this would have ensured that you make it into the NLU Delhi. Again, here, we had a long discussion on those tough options, right? So those negative marks here will probably decide who passes and who does not. So here the negative marking will impact the overall cutoff. And again, with logical reasoning, hopefully you did not waste time in doing those arrangement questions and actually try to get marks from all the other available stuff that was there. So everywhere the sections have something or the other. And if you are on par in 3 sections, you are there. Now, those extra 2-3 marks that...
And people like, the cutoff will be 110 and 120. That's not going to happen, guys. If you see the ALET paper, even last year, the cutoff was somewhere in the 70s, okay? So it's not that the paper has been so easy this year that all of a sudden it's going to be 30 marks more than last year. So we've taken everything into account, right from the number of doable questions, accuracy, timing, everything has been taken into account, and pretty much we do believe that it's definitely going to be higher than last year, but it's not going to be somewhere around 110 and 15 that some people are saying, okay? Because you do the paper, you come out of the examination hall, you feel that, oh my God, that was a great paper, most of my answers were right, but there are, things in between, there are mistakes that you make, and which is why I think 88 to 92 is pretty much what we felt is the cutoff, is going to be the cutoff for this year.
Student accounts and the overall picture we create for cutoffs. So please tune in just after your CLAT paper and keep in touch with us for any last minute advice that you would like to take from our side. Thank you so much to all the mentors at CLAT Possible who took the time and did this very engrossing exercise. It was probably even a good exercise for us. Now we have to utilize it for CLAT as well. Thank you so much, everyone. And others, have a good day. Take the time off. Probably get back to studying for CLAT in a couple of hours. But you do deserve a break.